Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Not Another Rangers podcast. And we're here tonight, obviously, to talk about last week's events at Ibrox and tomorrow's game. So, joining me this evening is Ricky and Ross. How are you, Ricky? Are you joining us tonight? Are you going to freeze like you did last week?
I will freeze a bit at some point, mate, because I remember I'm at work, so you've got to give us. It's not my own internet. I pay for good internet, but unfortunately, modern technology. Excuses, mate. But ready for Rangers to ruin another weekend with the riots and everything that's going to be tomorrow. Have you got your Pickard and that ready, Kerr? Are you going to be an enabler tomorrow and go to the game here?
I'm getting spray paint from my forehead, marking out. And also joining me tonight is Ross. How are you, Ross? And I heard congratulations in order. You went for an interview today and you got it.
Yep, good day. So but it's going to be ruined again tomorrow. So let's be honest. I can't see a result tomorrow. I can't.
You never know, Ross. You never know, but we'll get to that in a minute. So there's Scotty saying to you, congratulations, Ross. So well done, and welcome everybody in the comments as well. Thanks for joining us. So, Ricky, you probably like myself, which I've not done for the last couple of weeks, but actually was off a day and I managed to watch most of the press conference. And depending how you take it, and depending what angle you're coming from and how you think, I didn't think it was actually that bad, but that's just me.
Let's start with the Liam Kelly press conference, because let's be honest, the Liam Kelly press conference was excellent, right? And you got 10 times more information from the Liam Kelly press conference than you did the Russell Martin press conference. I thought it was very interesting, some of the things he said. I mean, he I don't know how much money Russell Martin paid him to say that he absolutely loved his day in Loch Lomond rather than being off. It was a recovery day, which is weird with modern football, how 2 days after the match is still classed as a recovery day, but all the coaches will be in the comments telling us why it's still a recovery day. But no, he said the players enjoyed it and it was good to try and get them together. But I think Russell Martin's press conferences, Kerman, I'm sick of what they got. I'm sick of looking at his face. I'm sick of listening to what he's got to say, mate, because ever since he's came in from day one, every single thing he has told us, the exact opposite has happened. He told us, well, we're going to be fast-paced team, the ball was going to be moved fast, we're going to run harder, we're going to be the best pressing team, we're going to be the best passing team. And every single thing was said, we turn up against basic teams in Scotland and within 5 minutes, they outrun us, they outpass us, they outthink us, they're tactically better, their players show more desire. So until I see a Rangers team that is doing the actual things that Hearts did to us last week on the park, I don't.
That's Ricky froze again, I think, Ross.
Aye. Yeah, he's froze, yeah.
He has froze again.
So I could talk the rest back. Right, so that Kelly interview, the PR's obviously told him to say that. That's the way I see it. The PR from the club make it sound good. I don't know how much truth's in it, or
I don't know. I think Liam Kelly's not going to sit and kind of lie to us, is he? I think he's just probably telling us what he feels himself.
Has he paid for it though, mate?
No, I don't really agree with that. I think some of it might be he's asked maybe watch what he says, but I don't think he's come out and just told. He's got a sheet in front of him to say this is what you can say, this is what you can't say. I think Liam Kelly was actually quite honest and truthful with what he said myself. I know you were alluding to that, Ricky.
Sorry, what was that, Kerr?
Ross was saying, does he think Liam Kelly's been truthful? He thinks he maybe said it's a PR stunt. I think Liam was quite up front.
Yeah, no, I think he was. I think he's got that good Glaswegian patter. Like, I think he was being honest from his point of view, but he was speaking more as a Rangers fan than he was talking as an actual player. You know, he's a Rangers fan himself. He's been sitting watching it from the bench. I mean, some of the things he said was great, but Kerr, like that Russell Martin's he's not happy with what he's seeing. How could he be? It's been an absolute disaster. He's trying everything with the players, but it's just nothing seems to be working. Just make it simple, mate. It's no difficult. Drop the defence a bit deeper. Go 4-2-3-1 just now. Get the ball to the wingers like we did at the start of the second half. Play Gassama on the left. Play Antman on the right, you know. Just keep everything simple for for a few matches, just to and if you want to bring in these amazing ideas, just give it a few months, get points on the board, give the players the instructions that they understand. Listen to Tavernier, listen to Raskin, listen to players that have got a bit of experience that are away. They're doing amazing for their international team, mate. You can bring in your brilliant swashbuckling football, but don't try and 180 everything like overnight and bring everything, try and change everything that fast, Kerr. Football doesn't work like that. These players are playing Scotland for a reason, mate. Like Pep's struggling to do it with Man City, and we're trying to do it with Glasgow Rangers, then play this mad football. And they've got Foden and Haaland, who are two of the best players in the world, for God's sake. And they just signed the best goalkeeper in the world, which has transformed their team. You know, we're trying to do it with players that are playing on Scotland on 10, 15k a week, mate. It's absolute madness. Just baby steps and keep it simple for the players until we get some victories, until he gets some credit in the bank, if he's going to be backed by the Americans, which it looks like he is, and build things from there, mate. That's what I would be trying to do.
No, you probably got a point, Ricky, but like, we were just talking about a press conference and you're going into tactics. But no, I know where you're coming from.
My point is what he's saying. It's what my point
I
is.
understand
The press conference is he's saying we're hearing this from Liam Kelly and we're hearing this stuff from Martin, but we're not seeing it on the park, mate. Like, we're not, the stuff that they're telling us, the exact opposite is what we keep saying, and that's why fans are at the front door. That's why fans are frustrated, mate. So we've got to start seeing the stuff that he's telling us, or the need to get him out of the position. The Americans,
I understand that, Ricky. We're all frustrated, and I'm one of the ones that would be happy if he get a sack tomorrow. But I think the way you're coming across here, you're saying he's moving too fast. So if that's the case, Ross, Ricky, I might be taking Ricky the wrong way, obviously, but if that's the case, does he deserve the time to try and turn it around then? Because if he's moving too fast, does he deserve a bit of time to try and get his ideas working more? Or is it a case of just get shot at him? Because listen, the press conference today, he came out and said a few things. Some of the things he was just kind of trying to get the fans maybe back inside. But he was his usual self. I don't know Russell Martin personally. I'm not against him personally. It's just I don't think he's a good fit for Rangers Football Club. But one thing I thought he was misjudged on today, Russell, you've seen it you as well, Ricky, when he made that joke. He said, so what's going to happen? What will happen come Saturday? And he said, we'll be fine, because we went to Loch Lomond and we walked a mountain.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit of sarcasm. I thought that's actually quite funny, but it's not the time to make that point. I thought you should make that point when you're maybe winning, not when the fans are chatting at your door to tell you to F off.
Aye, so the way Ricky sees it, I kind of see that side. If he is going too fast with Ricky saying it, you need to give him time. But I'm in the opinion, again, he has to go. It's not working. I just feel like none of the players are playing for him. They don't know what they're doing. But I think, get back to the interview as well, Scott, so with Martin, it's just like a whole recycle. Every team, he's got the same answers for everything. I had the Southampton interviews earlier on. It's just the same garbage he says. It just changes the team, whether it's Rangers, Southampton, whatever. Just feel like he doesn't know what to say to the press, if that makes sense. But you're right with the sarcastic comments. This isn't for it. The pot now. Get the ones in, then bring it in. But maybe. But I would like no mention sarcastic in interviews. But I see your point. Get some ones on the board and then.
Honestly, I think he was just trying to show a kind of human side that people maybe don't see, and I think he was just trying to show he can be not take things as seriously. But I thought I was mistimed myself. But listen, we can look at every manager. I'm not sitting here defending Russell Martin, but we can look at every manager who's had previous jobs. They've said similar things, they've done similar things with teams and coaches. So it's not just Russell Martin. But Ricky, I mean, to me, he doesn't look like a guy who's feeling pressure from anyone. I think he knows if he doesn't get a result tomorrow, he's still going to get backed by Stewart, Thelwell, Kavanagh. I think he knows he's got a wee bit of time before, even though the fans are basking outside and protesting, the fans outside the stadium are shouting at him, I still think he knows he's got a wee bit of time, a wee bit of trust for the owners and the management team to still get that time to get this right or get it somewhat moving forward. I don't think he thinks it's last chance.
Well, point number one, I want him out as well. So don't think just because I'm saying about he's doing things too fast and everything that I am backing him, because I'm not at all. I think this is crazy. Like I hear, I've been listening to podcasts all week, and people that have been going to Ibrox that are the same as you, Kerr, for like Jesus, since it was basically built. Man, you were there when there was 100,000 in Ibrox. But it's
old Ricky, come on.
It's the most toxic they've ever. It's the most toxic they've ever seen in the stadium, man. And just for a human being, man. If it's the same tomorrow when you've got 25,000 fans from 5 minutes into the match singing Martin, Martin, then the Americans are going to see that, man. They've got to put him out of his misery. It's not working. If it doesn't work tomorrow, Kerr, I mean, how long are you going to give it, for God's sake, man? We've not even scored a goal in Scotland. We're not creating chances. No. Every game is like 0.7. 0.3. I mean, I hate XG. I'm the opposite of a stat shagger, mate. You know that. But it's just insane how we're not creating chances. Where the defence is all over the place, and he's running out of excuses, mate. Like the window's closed now. He's going to play Cornelius probably tomorrow, but even with the changes he's making and stuff like that, he can't. He is absolutely at a dead end of the road, mate. And for me, the excuses are over. We've got to see something tomorrow, and if we don't see something tomorrow, the Americans, for the sake of Ibrox, for the sake of the Rangers fans, for the sake of Russell Martin, because it can't be enjoyable for him. The guy can't even leave his house. He can't even leave his house, for God's sake, man. And I didn't like what he was saying today about his family being ill and stuff like that. But I mean, that's horrible. I was ill last week myself, and it's horrible, man. You feel like you know what men are like when we're ill, when we've got the flu, man. It's the biggest deal in the world.
Man down.
Man down, you know. And you feel like, and then he's doing that, and so the whole thing is just a thing that has to be ended, Kerr, if we don't get a result tomorrow. And even if we do get a result tomorrow, it's just we're past. We know what it's like when you're at the end of a manager's reign, because we've been through it so many times the last 5 years, Kerr, and it's past that point, mate. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, it's just kicking the can down the road, and we can still salvage the season. That's the most frustrating thing. We've got a good squad of players. A good manager can get back to basics and get this team purring. But if we don't pull the trigger now, then the season will be completely destroyed. And if we get to the next international break and we've dropped more points in the league, that's it, mate. We're out the cup. The league is done. We're getting beat in Europe, so it could affect us in the Europa League as well. Because the way that Russell Martin's managing this team just now, Kerr, I don't even see us getting results in Europe, mate, against your Europa League teams, and that's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about
that. I'm scared. Europa, truthfully. Last season, is it right? We're in the Europa. We know what we're up against, but. Again, I'm not a stats man, but I said, Ricky, the stats, not one goal. Come on, what's going on? You know, but I think when Martin, you're saying he doesn't feel pressure, his ego, in my opinion, doesn't help. His ego to himself is absolutely massive. He does not think he's getting sacked, no matter who tells him what. He also the interview as well, he said, I can't remember what game it was, but when he was feeling unwell, he said, I want to sit down at 60 minutes. But the fans were shouting at me, so I stood back up. They shouldn't need fans to shut off to do his job. I hate managers that sit down all day. I want managers in the dugout screaming for 90 minutes. I just feel like it looks wrong. Managers sitting down just don't give a monkeys. It just looks completely wrong to me. And I just feel like that's one of the issues that isn't helping you work. For example, I've got Barry Ferguson. How many times seen a touchline when he was interim? Yeah, a wee bit different because he's a Rangers fan with us, but that's the passion I want in a manager. I don't want it. Would I have him back? I don't know. I've seen people say, would you bring Barry Ferguson back? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I kind of want a Sean Dyche, but again, I don't know how that would work. Just the passion to give the players to kick up the arse that they need. Because I just feel like we need it. But I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, I think you manager talk about that whenever it happens and somebody else comes in. I think at this moment in time, as long as Russell Martin, say we're just going after either talk about Russell Martin, criticise Russell Martin, or talk about the I think that anybody else coming in will talk about that when it gets there. But Listen to me, you don't have to run about the touchline to be a manager. I mean, Walter sat in the stand quite a lot, and when the players are on the park, doesn't matter if a manager's going nuts on the sidelines. Some players do what they want anyway, as we've seen. So that doesn't really bother me to a point, but it's how you prepare them before they cross that white line. Know what to do on the white line, over the white line, I should say. But also, I just feel. Do you think the owners? I've got a big say in this because Martin seems to be getting a lot of the blame at the start, right? But then the fans, especially the Union Bears, having a protest and all along with others, they've targeted Patrick Stewart. So how do you think that'll come across? Do you think he's bored? Because personally, I don't think he gives a toss. But they're not targeting Martin. They've targeted Martin and Stewart. But Thelwell's also there. But you can't target everybody because it's very difficult to get rid of everybody. I know Nicholas mentioned the players as well. You can't sack football players when they're on the contract unless you can sell them. Or you can pay them off, but it's costing more money. So it's very difficult just to change everything, especially since the summer. We've kind of done that anyway.
Yeah, I think Percy said they don't give a monkeys. It's in one ear and out the other. I just don't pay attention. For example, if you look at the Old Firm game, when the whole stadium shouted Nico Raskin's song, he didn't hear it, apparently. But I'm sitting in the house, Phil could hear it full blare, so is he just pretending not to listen to it? Because his narrative, but again that goes back to his ego. It's not what he wants, so does he not bring it into his ears? But yeah, it will be interesting tomorrow with the team. It really will. I just hope it doesn't start Aaron's. I really hope. Because Hibs are going to have fun.
I mean, Ricky, Hibs are going to come, obviously. Hibs are going to come and they're going to be confident because I would be if I was Hibs.
Aye.
But, I mean, Ross mentioned there about Martin not listening to stuff, but when you're on the sidelines, as a manager or a player, if you're on the park, you can't really listen to fans.
You're concentrating on the game,
Yeah, you have to be. You're probably more professional. You have to concentrate on what you're paid to do. So, getting abuse it can become second nature. People know yourself, Ricky. The more the fans shout it, the more the person who are shouting at turns off, and they kind of become immune to it as well. So I think it's a kind of difficult situation. But I mean, do you think Patrick Stewart's bothered? I think Thelwell's bothered.
Mate, you remember his famous sayings when he was unveiled, Martin? We need to build the aeroplane as it's flying through the air. Well, Jesus Christ, man, he put the wrong wings on and it crashed into Loch Lomond. That's some of the shite he was coming out with. Like he's an what was it with the architect? He's a cultural architect. He's going to be a cultural architect. And I read that I'm a glutton for punishment, so I read the 6 pages of that fan advisory board when they had the meeting with Patrick Stewart and Kevin Thelwell. And Patrick Stewart, he's using all the big words, like trying to be this big fancy. It's like, mate, you're like, see in Glasgow, just ditch all that nonsense trying to speak like they're bringing up. People see right through that right away. People want to see results. You came in. You backed Clement. You said that Clement wasn't going to get fired after Queen's Park, and then 3 weeks later, after you put your head on the chopping block for him, you ended up having to fire him because the fans were right. Now they're going against the fans again. They want to be proven right. We're right. The fans are wrong. I'm right. Thelwell's right. I don't know. You'd probably know about the guy McAllister more than I do, Kerr, whether that was true or not, that they wanted to get him back into the club. And Stewart was the one that blocked it because of the stuff that went on. But you need Rangers men like that behind the scenes. And I mean, there was a brilliant story that I can't repeat on this podcast that Bill McMurdo did in a YouTube interview about when Rangers signed Maurice Johnston. I don't know if you've seen the interview, mate. The story about we Dodie in the cubicle. I can't repeat what he said. The words he used, but it was absolutely brilliant. So you need these characters. Like he doesn't understand. Us as fans understand that if you get a Rangers man as the kit man, he's telling the players every day. He can help the foreigners and stuff like that. Like Jimmy Bell was a huge part of the club. That's why all the players loved him. But he's an Aberdeen fan, so he just thinks that you can get anyone off the street just to do the kit job and stuff like that. But these people behind the scenes are more important, and they go from manager to manager. They're more important behind the scenes. and as part of the club, then sometimes then you can never imagine, and that's the same for all clubs that have been successful. So there's a lot of things with Patrick Stewart the last year that he doesn't. I mean, and that listen, he's the CEO. He can do things the way that he wants. He's in charge of the club. But at the end of the day, the club's in a worse mess now after this. I remember a year ago, guys, when we heard about this massive, they were going to look under the bonnet and find out everything about Rangers, and they had all the answers, and we were so excited about these Americans coming in. As soon as they appointed Martin, all the goodwill after the takeover completely disappeared. Like they stuck a pin in a balloon, boom, it all disappeared. But the way that he spoke, fans were willing to get behind him and give it an opportunity and see how things go, Kerr. But it's been an absolute disaster. We thought, okay, we'll trust the Americans. All the fans did. And we've been nothing but let down. The club's in a worse state now than it was a year ago. And things have to change very fast. We spent 30 million and got worse. How's that possible, boys, man? Like, how's that possible?
One thing I will say McAllister, I know people in the press apparently never ever wanted to come back. So this whole Stewart thing, I don't know if it's just catching arms and legs. It's a lot of crap. He didn't ever want to come back.
Okay, that's fair enough. See, I know a lot of these.
I'm all going what I've been told, so.
Okay, so you guys know more than me.
I'm always saying what I've been told or somebody that works in the press, so.
You hear different things, but in the day, it's only them inside know what's happening. Jimmy can't know what's happening. I think the Rangers, they don't know what's happening. Nobody knows 100% unless you're involved in that situation. But I think we're past the stage of getting a bigger kit man or a kit man at the Rangers. I think we need more than that, Ricky, to be fair. But listen, see, when you look back, Ricky mentioned the takeover. When the takeover happened, we were all up here. We were all totally enthralled with it. We were expecting everything just to click like that. Now, I'm not sitting here defending anything, but was it maybe we were expecting too much too soon?
Not here. We're 10th in the league, mate.
I understand that. I'm just thinking from the fans, because we have been starved for success. Do you think we went to here and expecting just to everything to become rosy overnight, and it's no happened, and we just suddenly went, this isn't good enough? Because
I don't think that's fair. I think the Rangers fans are pretty. I heard it mentioned on another podcast, and I completely agree. I think Rangers fans are some of the most clued up fans out of any supporter base that there is in the UK, because we've been through so much, mate, and we've been through so many ups and so many downs. I don't think we're being entitled to FC. I think that we gave Martin a lot of rope after he, as I said, nobody wanted him appointed. Nobody can pretend we did, right? But when he came in, he spoke very well. He turned up. He spoke well. He said he was going to give us this, and he was going to give us that, and he was going to give us this. And if we'd seen even 20% of what he said, Kerr, then fans would be getting. I think we'd even forgive the Bruges match, right? None of us expected us to get to the Champions League, so getting to the Europa League after the tough qualifying games we had was actually an achievement, right? If we'd started in the league and we'd had one draw, even if we'd drawn against Celtic and we had one other draw and we'd actually had some points on the board, basically, if we saw the Victoria Pilsen game, if we saw that 3 or 4 times, and then we had maybe two dodgy performances and we'd drawn a game, then fans would be okay with that, because we can see what he's trying to do and we can actually think to ourselves, okay, this football's maybe going to work. But the players look like complete strangers, Kerr, when they go on the park. If we turn up tomorrow at 5:45 and the players are like Hibs are showing more desire and they look the better team for the first 10 minutes, it's going to be exactly the same. Hearts had 3 or 4 chances before what's his face actually scored. Shankland even scored. They had 3 or 4. They were cutting us open at will. Kerr, there's no desire. Like, see that first goal when the guy runs through, Braga, whatever he's called, the Portuguese guy runs through, and Shankland makes the most simple run into the box, and nobody goes with him, and all the players are half asleep. It's like, what is going on?
Ricky, but here a minute, but you can't blame that on Russell Martin. Obviously, that lies at Diamandi, no following his runner, no. He falls him to a point and stops.
I agree with you, but
he tries to pass him on to a defender who doesn't follow him. So that's not to do with a manager.
Pick him tomorrow then. Don't pick him
tomorrow.
I
understand that.
Diamante's been like that all season. Why are you picking him?
Yeah, it's not a good season. I don't know what's wrong with
Raskin's in the stand. Why are you picking him? Raskin's in the stand. You know, you've young Rice needs an opportunity. I'm not saying Rice is the answer because he's been. Barron's getting all the starts now. Bazrami is there. Give these other players an opportunity. If the players are on the pitch are not doing what you're telling them to do because they're scared, give other players an opportunity. Well, you know, you don't need to pick Diamante every single match. So we'll see what, like Ross says, it'll be interesting with the team selection tomorrow, mate, to see what way he's going to go. And he better put players in the right position. He's got to have Suter right centre back. He's got to have Gassama on the left. He's got to make sure the players are in the right position, mate, because they need all the help they can get.
No,
it's just stupid things, as you said. Players not playing their actual position. It's like you watch punishment, you know.
I mean, Ricky's talking about the players, but somebody in the comment, Nicholas said in the comments, maybe these players we've got and the players we've signed, maybe they're not as good as we think, but also Martin's not helping them with putting them in that position, which is correct. Yeah. But also, and I'm not sticking up for also Martin, I'm just trying to be subjective here. Mm-hmm. When they do cross the right line, like I used to coach at boys club right enough, but when your players are on the park, you can only do so much because even if you're shouting instructions, they don't have to listen to you.
Yeah.
The professionals are the same. So maybe they've got to play some of this to blame the players because they didn't perform. Some of these guys didn't perform under, Barry Fergus. No. And the same guys are doing it under Russell Martin. New guys have come in and not performed. Don't get me wrong, he's put a few out of position like Aidens and Rothwell, who I said to you from signed Rothwell, Ricky, wasn't he a sick? I know a few people disagree, but just because I've seen him before watching Championship, he always played in a few ex-pros have come out and said he's better as an 8, he's better further forward. And I think you can see that. So I think it's a combination of, the backroom people buying players unlike Thelwell and Purdy, who's supposed to be buying these players, they're not working right. It's maybe some of them are hiding, maybe don't like the pressure. Some of them haven't performed to what we want them to perform. The managers maybe playing a system they don't enjoy playing or they're not suited to playing. But sometimes you've got to say, right, even if that's not working, some of these guys, I know Tav said that a few times, but some of these guys are going to step up a performance because surely as a professional player, you've got pride in how you play. You must have some pride in how you perform because at the end of the day, that's their job. So you must get in that park. I'm not saying none of them, I'm not saying they do it, they don't do it, I don't know them personally. But if you go to that park, even if you can throw a bass bill, you must be saying to yourself, we as the players, we have to change us because we can't always expect A, B, and C to help us. We have to go and try something different ourselves.
As you said before, Ricky, Scott, what they said before, like some players just don't care. Like if the body language is just all wrong. It's just like they're there to pick up a wage and that's it. They're not bothered whether we win, lose, draw. It's just not good enough. You know?
As in, but Ricky, I mean, you're saying some of the players don't care here for the money, and that might be well true because modern football has changed. But surely some of these, I mean, I work in a profession, you work in a profession, and if some days you go to work, your head's not in the game like it maybe was the day before or the day after, but you're still trying your best. Surely footballers must be in the same kind of environment. Even if I know performing well, surely they must try and push through. You still there, Ricky? I think he's lost his connection again, or he's lost his earphones and he can't speak. He's away again. I mean, obviously, Martin's getting a lot of blame for this. And rightly so, Ross, rightly so, because I don't think I do think this job's too big for him. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's been at Southampton, MK Dons, Swansea. They're all clubs in their own right, big clubs down in England in their own right, especially Southampton, they got an English Premiership. But being at Rangers is a totally different kettle of fish because Scottish football is not really rated by a lot of people down south, right? But it's definitely we're playing up here. I watched a young guy's interview a week on telly, and it was Terry Small. It was a known to St. Mirren from I think it was Brentford at the time, but now he plays with Preston. And he says when he come up here, he was shocked at how quick the game was, how physical the game was, and just he didn't get any time in the ball. He said he was stuck, and he said the first thing he done was learn his close control better and also go to the gym to work out because he had to bump up his physical strength if he wanted to compete. And that was a boy going to St Mirren, a young kid going to St Mirren. So surely experienced professionals must feel like that coming up here as well. They must know it's not going to be exactly the same as playing the Championship and League One in England.
Yeah, I think the issue is, again, it doesn't help. A lot of people think, league's an easy league, especially down south. I think, it's only 12 teams. It's a crap league. It's just, again, players got south just think, it's going to be a piece. It's going to be easy. So as you said, it's go to that boy, you learn stuff in the league. I don't know if Ricky's back to his opinion on it or.
What was that? Sorry, guys. Sorry about my internet. It's bloody terrible. I try to get fixed this week. About what? Sorry, about
just the players in general coming to Scottish football, Ricky. If you don't know it, I mean, some of them might think it's going to be I'm not saying a cakewalk, but maybe easier than they played before. But playing with Rangers is different than playing with other teams. But also getting a draw or a win, or getting a draw or a defeat other clubs, you don't get the same pressure as you do up here. But Scottish football in general is more physical. It's quicker than you think. We don't get a lot of time in the ball. So all these technically gifted players that come up here or think they find it really hard, and some will excel and some will try to do well. I think Asgard, I think he's got a physique to try and do well, and I thought he'd done okay last week. He could be better, but I thought he'd done okay. But with others hide. But you would expect more for these guys because obviously they know Rangers, they know the league is sort of, but you would think they would maybe do more homework before they come up here just to see what it's like.
Yeah, but I honestly, I think they're overcoached to death, Kerr. I think they're scared. I think the only time you see them playing well is straight after half time when they sort of like abandon, they've got like a bit of the fear disappears for maybe 10 minutes. And another thing that really, I wasn't on Monday, mate, that really pissed me off about Martin last weekend, mate, was we've got control of the match. He brings Rothwell on, right? And we've got control of the match. We're creating chances. We score a good goal that should have been given, but it's chopped off. We've got momentum in the game. And he goes and brings on another striker and changes it to 3-5-2. And we'll lose complete momentum. It's like, mate, judge, I know you're ill, but judge what's going on in the park. So, listen, we know that the Rangers shirt is a heavy shirt, mate. It's a difficult league to play in. It's not as easy as what people think. It's very physical. It's very fast. It's very honest. The players in Scotland don't like people that try and take the P beat and try tricks or anything like that. If you come up here, you've got to get your head down and you've got to graft and you've got to work. And this is the easy part of the season, mate. Wait until they get to the cold weather. I wait till they get to St Mirren. I used to always laugh at Morelos when he used to come out at St Mirren and it was like minus 20 degrees with the wind howling, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" You know, it was wait until the players get to. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've signed a lot of players that have played in British football before, so they're used to the climate and stuff like that. But I don't think it's podcast to be taking a baseball bat to the players quite yet, Kerr. I think you need to give them time to settle. But what I will say is Martin's got to play them in the right positions, mate. We kind of see Moore starting on the left where our best player has been this season, Gustama. He's got to be starting on the left. Finlay Curtis deserves a chance on the right if he's not going to play Ant-Man. I don't care about loan agreements that this player's got to play minutes or that player's got to play minutes, mate. You're about to get fired, so you've got to pick the players that are going to give you the best opportunity to get results and results fast. So please forget about loan agreements and stuff like that. And playing Moore, I mean, Moore is your perfect example because you're right. He is a good player, Kerr, right? But he's a 17-year-old child who's just turned 18. Who's come up to Scotland, and Jesus, he is a player that's finding. He probably thought to himself, "I'm going to be able to go there, and I'm really Rangers. I'm going to be able to shine." Yeah. And he's at least a yard off the pace, mate. His tricks are so obvious that, and Hearts had him on absolute toast in that first half. And I mean, listen, the kid's got a big heart. You can see the fans were starting to get on his back a little bit, but he handled it well. He went on off at half time. He should never have started the match, but there's things like that Martin has to get right for this performance that we're going to see tomorrow night, mate. Because if he picks players out of position, and say he starts with Jigga and Suter again at the back, it's going to be exactly the same, and Ibrox is going to be hell from 5-10 minutes on, mate. And nobody wants that tomorrow night, you know. We people think that supporters want to see Rangers lose so Martin gets fired. That's the biggest heap of crap I've ever heard, man. And if that's no supporting your club, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You hit the nail on the head. I love that saying that you said, Kerr. It doesn't matter who the manager is or who the players are. We just want to see Rangers win. So come on, give us a performance. You've not gave us a performance now for at least 3.5 weeks. So give us something to get behind. And the players can talk all a good game. Liam Kelly was brilliant in the press conference today, but we need to see it on the park, mate. I mean, it has to start on tomorrow night.
Just get back a minute to Mikey Moore, Ricky. You know, I've only seen bits and bobs of Mikey when he was at Spurs, and I thought he looked really, really good, but I thought he had a lot of potential, but he is young.
Yes.
You know, in fleeting spells for Spurs, it's mostly the academy stuff, but I thought it was a big move to bring him to Rangers because I think his time up here will help him in the future, but I don't think it helps us just now.
It doesn't help us. We've seen it before. We've seen it where...
But I don't blame Martin for this. I think this signing is made above his head.
It's made by people that don't listen. Well, another thing, right? Because you just brought up a good thing that you just said there, right? The Americans didn't just speak to Felwell and Patrick Stewart, by the way. They got advice from Barry Ferguson. They got advice from Dave King. They got advice from John Gregg. They got advice. They ignored all the advice from all Rangers people who gave them simple instructions. Keep it basic. We need Scottish players. We need Scottish identity. We need winners in the team. It's a tough jersey. It's a tough team to play for. They went totally against everything the advice they were given. Ferguson gave them a list of players that he would have brought in. It was completely ignored. Some of these deals were even almost done. And they went, okay, Felwell and Patrick Stewart went, rip that up. We know best. And this is the position that we find ourselves in now with these players that they brought from England. We've seen this movie before, Kerr. I think these players are a bit better than what we've brought in before, but we need to get this sorted out, and we need to see improvements fast, mate.
So talk about the players then, Ricky and Ross. Ricky mentioned obviously maybe Felwell, Purdy, Stewart, whatever. Maybe not so much Stewart, but Felwell and Purdy about previous buying players for different clubs, and obviously worked in England a long time, so they know a lot of players down there. To me, John Mitty was another one. I don't think Martin wanted him in. I think that was Felwell brought him in because he's brought him in before and he still sees potential there, but I've always said that's too much of this for Rangers, especially for that amount of money, especially where we are.
I feel like, again, that was a thermal signing, nothing else. But I said, I'm bringing this guy in, whether you like it or not. It's like, just feel it's a lot of money. It's a big, massive risk. But again, as Ricky said, the owners missed the chance. You had Shankland and that on a free. Why didn't we go for Shankland that knows the week? Yeah, a lot of fans saying they shouldn't have, but I think it'd be better to him and Jimmy there. Shankland knows the week, scores goals for fun. He'd be there to tell players that haven't in the week more experience about what actually happens in the week, what to expect. You go to like Celtic, Hibs, that kind of thing. I feel like they missed that in the squad now, that they haven't got the players with experience that can tell them, right, this is what it's like at this day, this is going to be toxic. Yeah, you've got with maybe Butland and Suter, but just feel again you miss the likes of Barry Ferguson that will give everything the players need. Just feel like they miss that. They miss that now. They missed the encouragement to keep going. You know, it's just I see Ricky nodding away, so I'm also making good points.
Ricky just nods anyway. He somebody gives him a wee buzz every so often. He goes, oh. But Ricky, Shona made a comment there saying that doesn't help Curtis, and we've said that in the past.
100%.
This is nothing against Mike. This is nothing against Mikey Moore. But when Finley's played this season, he's scored goals and has to be. He's done really well. So to me, you don't have to spend that money in bringing Mikey Moore in. You don't have to guarantee him games and stuff like that, because I think Finlay Curtis would give us everything, maybe more than Mikey Moore is at this moment in time, because I still think on his day Finlay Curtis is probably one of our best natural finishers.
I totally agree, mate. 100%. If you, he was outstanding at the start of the season, and he was playing. He was scoring goals. He was like on the right hand side. Listen, wingers don't have to be involved in the game every single minute for 90 minutes. If you've got a kid that's got an eye for goal like Curtis does and can bang in 15, 20 goals a season, then it's an absolute no-brainer. But the problem for Curtis is, and Martin's even said it himself, he's the easiest player to drop because he's from the academy and it's okay, he's still young, he can do this. And we see Moore's been, this is what I mean, mate. Moore's been getting a chance for weeks and it's been dreadful. Ant-Man has come in and you can see that he's got a great final ball, but we're not using him properly. He's always in the wrong position or too far away from goal. So like there's so many things that don't make sense. So for sure, Curtis should be getting the minutes that Moore is going to be getting, and it's really it's another thing in a long list of things, Kerr, that is super frustrating, mate. And I saw someone putting in the comments, I think it's interesting about Gogic and a few players like that. We miss that physicality, you know. You're not speaking about 1,000%. You're not bringing Gogic in to be. Like he's not going to be brought in to be a superstar like there's going to be win you the Europa League. But in games in Scotland where you're going to tough away grounds or you need a bit of physicality and maybe you're getting bullied like Hearts did last week. They got bullied last week by Cammy Devlin. He absolutely strolled that midfield, mate, you know. So a player like Gogic, you can play him in centre midfield or you can play him in the defence and stuff if you need to. He would have been, like, instead of Fernandes, what's Fernandes doing, mate? The weirdest signing of the summer is a Fernandes Peterborough laughing at us for spending $3.5 million. So there is... There was players in Scotland that were there that we could have took in. And I still think we can do that to supplement, because I think we have got a good squad of players, Kerr, but I think it just needs supplemented with a bit of physicality, a bit of Scottish identity, players that know how to play in the league. And I think if you can get a new manager and add that in January, I actually think this squad is going places, but it needs to. I honestly don't think Martin. I know we keep going back to it, but I just don't see that he's going to work in Scotland, mate. I just don't see his football. If something happens and it does a 180 and I'll be the happiest man in the world, mate. But as things stand, I just think he's all wrong for Rangers. And I think people are telling the Americans, Stewart and Felwell, people are telling them that, but they're not listening. I heard Felwell got a lot of grief in the main stand in the director's box, and I'm sure it's not going to be any more pleasant this week.
No.
So hope he's got his earplugs in for the 90 minutes.
See, the thing is, Ricky, it's getting to a stage, Ricky, where everything's about Russell Martin, and I'm getting fed up with it, and I don't mean as in I don't want to talk about it. It's just Rangers Football Club isn't Russell Martin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, until the owners maybe wake up, or the management behind Russell Martin, like Thelwell and Stewart, maybe see we need to go in another direction, nothing's going to happen. So constantly criticising, moaning on top of Russell Martin, it isn't helping everybody, because we're just going in the circles saying the exact same thing about him. And then you see, Ricky, unless he starts to get wins, nothing's going to change. It's only going to get worse. And I think they're just delaying the inevitable longer and longer and longer, because even if he gets a 1 or 2 wins, it's only going to take you to the next defeat or draw, and it's back to this again. So it's not going to change. He's lost.
It's just paper over the cracks. It's all it is. We get a win tomorrow. It's only paper over the cracks.
Yeah,
it means nothing.
But I feel also, I think when you get media coming out and saying he's got 1 game, 2 games, 3 games left, see when you get to that stage, you should be sacked, because you hear managers saying that all the time. He's got 2 games to save his job. If you've got 2 games to save your job, that means all the time before it you've been pointless, you've been useless. So you shouldn't have 2 games left. You should just be sacked, because nothing's going to change in 180 minutes of football.
And also, Kerr, he's getting the loving from Brendan Rodgers today. Did you see Rodgers having a pop at Barry Ferguson?
I seen that, but I didn't pay attention, mate.
I didn't know. What did he say that, kid? I seen that.
So he said, Scotty pretty much said that need to give him time he will get there with the week. I didn't read it all, but that's pretty much the base of it. You've got to give him time, and he'll think me about it. But it's like
he's probably setting up for a fellow manager, which to a point you can see why.
I know.
But also, he's probably setting up for a fellow manager because he knows if Russell Martin's in charge, he's going to definitely win the league with anybody challenging him. So you can see it from that point of view as well. But listen, it is what it is. I don't really listen to anything to do with Celtic United or Brendan Rodgers, so that's what I was asking. But anyway, we're going to move on for that because I don't really want to talk about Brenda.
Before you go, I noticed in the comments for Shona, bring Fernandez in Nasawa. Nasawa's in the B team. What the hell? Nasawa's a good defender, what I've seen anyway. Again, spending all that money on a player we don't know. We've got Nasawa that's sitting in the B team doing absolute hee-haw.
Yeah, Martin made his mind up. Martin made his mind up with him about very fast.
I know.
I thought it was very early that.
Yes, I
it was like they'd already decided that from watching the tapes or something that he wasn't even going to give him a chance, which was just weird. It was like he was the first player that he actually called out and said that he wasn't going to be part of his plans. The way that he passes out, you think he'd be a lot more suited. He actually, what we've seen of Fernandez so far, NCAO actually looks like a better option on that left side as a backup than what we've seen so far. I do like the look of Big Snoop Dogg though, Cornelius. He looks good. No, he can pass the ball as well. I really like. I think I like the look of him. I must admit. Sorry, Kevin.
No, I have to say, CNCR, right? He's got potential. We've seen, but he's not done anything for me to say he should be starting because he's not showed enough. Every manager comes in, Martin, Ferguson, come on, new manager. Every manager is going to come in and say, right, I like the look of these guys, but I don't like the look of these guys. That's just football. Do you know what I mean? So there's nothing against Martin doing that because that's what managers do. And it's just unfortunate for NCR that he's not in his plans. But if your manager comes in, then it's a clean start for NCR. He might eventually get back in the plans, but also nobody's took him anywhere. He's still there. So if he was as good if some of the fans are saying he'd be away somewhere. You have to look at it both ways, but I see potential, but you don't know about Fernandez either because we've never seen him. They're only going on hearsay the Peterborough fans and the wee minutes we've seen him. I think the boy looks a decent defender, but I think he struggles in the footballing side of the game. So, but we don't really know him because we're not seeing enough of the two boys to say they're good long term or short term.
Yes,
they need to be given time, and until they're given time, we can't really say either. And Martin obviously doesn't wait in Seattle at all. So, going on to tomorrow's game, Ross, it's Hibs game, right? In the cup. The last cup game against Arley made a few changes. Do you think he makes a few changes again? I think he kind of sticks with his strongest lineup.
Be very stupid not to stick with his strongest lineup. I think it'd be very stupid.
The strongest lineup's not really won him in the games recently.
I know, but it's literally, it's hard. It really is hard. But I feel like the likes of Raskin and that needs to come back in. I don't think he will start. But I just feel like Rask is in the whole defence. So the midfield is different. I mean, personally, what you've seen the screens, that's the thing I think of. So I didn't know Cameron was injured when I done the graphics. So I don't know who would go in. I don't know. I didn't hear the interview whether Rockwell's fully fit again or not. I don't know if he wasn't asked or anything.
No, he wasn't asked.
I think he will be missing tomorrow, Rothwell. I think even if he is back, I think he'll maybe taking a couple of weeks off because just injury was, and then obviously Cameron's out injured, but obviously Liam Kelly was in the presser. So I think he changes up tomorrow. I think there's going to be a couple of boys in the team that's no play for him. I think he does change up. I'm not sure with you, but I think he has to change up. I don't think he can go with his tried and tested, which he's been doing. I think he has to change up more. I think he has, according to Liam Kelly, he has been tweaking things. He's not one-dimensional, right?
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, even if he has been tweaking things, I think just the way we play, there's no system there, and I think that's the problem. I think if he had a system, we could relate to him, we could say, right, we're doing this, we're doing that. But I don't think there's anything there. I just think there's certainly a way they don't know what they're doing.
The only chance he has tomorrow, Kerr, for the day to not be hell for all of us and him, is that we see the performance against Hearts when Rothwell came on for that 10 minutes from the start tomorrow. If we see that performance from the start, where the tempo's there, the tempo's high, we're getting the ball wide, we're getting balls into the box, Sam is explosive from the left. Maybe, I don't think he'll start Curtis. I think he'll start Ant-Man and Miovski. I think it'll be, the team will be Butland in goal, Tavernier. I think it'll be Suter and Cornelius. Mighoma left back. I think it'll be Raskin in the 6. I think it might be probably Diamande. I don't think he'll start Barron. And then it'll be Asgard, and then the 3 up front. I think that's the team. If he doesn't start that team, if he starts Moore or anything like that on the left, then he deserves to get fired before we get to half time, mate. And that's just being honest. So I think that but we need to see that tomorrow. We need to see a fast tempo, fast start to the match, get after them straight away. Tackles, desire. We need to see that, mate. Because listen, nobody wants to go through another 80 minutes of Hibs fans taking the piss. Martin get to booing him when he's coming out. Like the Americans are there, they're getting dogs abuse in the director's box, because that's what's going to happen, mate. People are going to be. They certainly don't think the Bot Rangers they were expecting frothing Glasgow people beside the director's box saying "Follow, come on," you know. So they're going to see Scottish hospitality at its best tomorrow in that director's box if Hibs score. And mate, I tell you what, there's not a team in Scotland better set up to absolutely pull Rangers' pants down than Hibs. They've got everything. Like they're like a mini version. They've got the big striker. They've got Boyle with his pace, who loves playing against Rangers. If we play a high line, if he doesn't study Hibs and know that he's got to drop a defence back at least 10 yards, and Suter's got to be on the big boy Bowie, who's had a great start to the season, holds the ball up well, super strong, young, you know. So it's going to be an interesting match, mate. But if we can turn this around, 180, good performance, get the victory, and then on to the European game, mate. And just listen, the flames are still there. You're not going to put this fire out. You need an aeroplane with a big bag of water, and that's not going to happen tomorrow. That's not going to happen tomorrow. But at least if you can get the water pistol at the flames a little bit and just dim it a little bit until Thursday night, the Rangers are back, then at least that'll be a start, Kerr. I
still think that Kelly starts in goals for me. I think he was in against Alloa, and I think he keeps him in.
Kelly will start. Sorry, that was silly. That was just normality saying Butland in my head. Kelly 100%.
He probably finds he's because it's a League Cup. He'll be told he'd be the keeper for that. Listen, not everybody agrees with it, but I think he's probably been told you're the keeper for that cup competition. The back 4, I would bring in Cornelius, Suter. You'd have to go with Tav and Mighoma, but Desarian's getting another chance. You sign him on loan. He's on a lot of money, so you can't keep him out forever. Middle of the park's an interesting one for me. I think we need to be stronger, but I think we have to show a different type of setup in the middle of the park. Ricky, what is it, Ricky?
I want to defend myself because I'm getting absolutely baseball battered in the comments, quite rightly, because you did it before we came on air. You said to me, we're definitely going to beat Hibs tomorrow. And I was laughing at you going, I said that last week, mate, with confidence. We're going to beat Hearts 3-0. And I was confident last week because of Martin's pish. And it was the same for the Dundee game, mate. So listen, I got it totally wrong last week. I hold my hands up. I was completely miles away. So this week, I'm making no prediction for Hibs game. Sorry. I
just need to, Ricky, before we come on, I think it's just the low averages, and I think because the week we've had, the last weekend through to this week, through to all the stuff about Loch Lomond, blah, 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 I think we'll get a win because all the nonsense went on this week. No based on how we're playing, just based on what's been happening over the clubs in the last few days with the
players' morale, kind of thing?
No, just with having the protest against the manager and shouting at him last week, just everybody wanting him out the door, and I think sometimes football's funny. You get an unexpected result, and I feel that might be the manner. But that's not me saying it should extend his stay. I just feel tomorrow we'll get a win, but then the following week when everything's kind of, I'm not saying back to normality, but maybe settle down slightly, that's when you start to see maybe the players reverting back to type, or Martin reverting back to type in the way we're playing again. I just feel the more Ricky as well, middle of the park, Ross. That's a difficult one for me. I don't think Raskin comes back into the side. I think he's on the bench, but I don't think he comes back in. I think whatever's going on behind the scenes is still there. And I think you can see it with both. I think you can see it with Russell Martin. But I think
the issue is, mate, if it doesn't play, who plays? We also Rockwell and Cameron out. As much as I made the graphic, my team would be Kelly, Tav, Sutter, Cornelius, Magoma. I'd actually put Raskin in as an 8 instead of Cameron, and I'd put Barron at a 6. I also seen the comments about Chimity. I didn't see much of him when he came on. Is it worth the risk starting? Or do you start Milosky? As much as again he hasn't scored, did you start Milosky? He knows Hibs. Or do you start Chimity?
Listen, Chimity one of these guys, Ross, that
you haven't seen what he can do, aye.
We're going with a transfer fee, which nothing to do with the boy. That's what the clubs have agreed. It's nothing to do with the kid. The kid's just coming up here to do a job, and we're going with this. It's cost us 8 million, 10 million, whatever you want to believe. I mean, Nicholas said they're starting both. Why not? I mean, might as well just go for it. Go 4-4-2. But do you know what I mean? Why do you not start two? Why do you not start two up front? But I just think he has to try something different. That's why I think there'll be a few changes. But I don't know how we'll play. But I just feel because of the week we've had and everything been really, really negative against him, the players, the management team, everything else, I just feel we'll get a victory tomorrow.
I mean,
for some reason, Hibs, I agree with you, Ricky. I think Hibs going forward, they're very good. I think offensively, they're very good to watch. I watched some of European games and they were very good, especially on the transition. They're very good. Defensively, they're just like us. They concede quite a lot of goals.
They do. They concede a lot of goals. Right, the defence is all over the place, but we don't create chances. That's the problem, Kerr. So
one thing.
No, we don't, Ricky. But maybe the morning will be different.
On you go, Ross.
Yeah, thank you. So one thing I will say about defence is that defensive line says Martin come in. How high it is.
Too high. It's too high.
That doesn't help us. It doesn't help. I seen in the comments 4-4-2. Imagine if he goes old fashioned and it actually works tomorrow.
He might go 3-5-2. He might go 3-5-2, and he might go and put two guys up front. He might move he might move Tab in beside. He might move Tavernier in beside Suter and Cornelius, and then
possibly
go with. But that's the sort of thing Kerr's on about. He might throw a curveball in there because he's tried everything else.
Because they know information, But again,
two strikers on the park.
There's nothing to lose if he does, Ricky. There's nothing to lose, and if he does it,
something else.
See if he does it. But I'm not saying it gives him. I might give him some sort of credit for the fans to say, well, he's tried something because he's been getting more training. Do you know what I mean? I think.
Yeah, no, I would probably still start 4-2-3-1 and then give it 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and if it looks like it did last week, then I would change it and rip it up pretty fast. But I would probably try and start with 2 sitting midfielders and just try and get a grip of the game. I think we're too wide open with just one. I don't think we actually have a proper single number 6. I think Suter is a number 6, but Suter's all over the place. He's like Duracell Bunny. So even I think that's what drives Martin crazy though, is it? Because even when Raskin's playing the 6, he doesn't stay in the 6. He wants to run all over the place and make tackles and get involved. That I agree, but we don't have a 6 to play behind him. Barron's not really Barron was good against Celtic and then he was dreadful against Hearts. So do you risk Barron in there again and then
another thing we can do, mate, is you can do 4, 2 in front of defence instead of the 1 at the 6. Again, you're just trying something else. You try it, works brilliant. You mentioned about 50 minutes. Would you make a change that quickly and bring another striker on if it's not working after 50 minutes? Would you personally make a change after 50 minutes? I think the fans say, right, fair enough. You see it's not working, they change it. If he changes it after 15 minutes, personally, fair play the manager. But if it's not working and he doesn't make a change, we're back to the same old Martin boring tactics.
I think nowadays everybody's pigeon-toed into a position. And it's just maybe me talking from my age, right? Because people play Football Manager and stuff like that. Whereas I remember football, I think in that class I alluded to it as well. People are Like, he can't play there because that's not his strongest position. He can't play there. He's a 90s, a 6, he's us. But see back maybe 15, 20 years ago, I think if you're a midfielder, you're a midfielder. You could play forward, you could play back, you could defend, you could attack. Nowadays, it's like he can't attack, so he sits here. Like, he's better further forward, so he's not great defensively. But Paul Scholes, like Keane, Stephen Gerrard.
No, you see, what I was about to say is brilliant. See, when he speaks on his podcast, Paul Scholes, I heard him just yesterday, right? And he says, I couldn't play midfield myself. I didn't have a clue what I was doing in midfield. He says, I had to have Michael Carrick beside me, or Roy Keane, or Nicky Butt. They had to play beside me because they were the disciplined players who could tell me what position I had to be in. And if I didn't have wingman, if I didn't have my wingman, I was all over the place. And fucking, he says, imagine playing next to Roy Keane and what he was getting his ears all the time because he was always. But they players loved playing with Paul Scholes because he always influenced the match. So they didn't mind that he was running all over the place. And that's what you're on about with Raskin. If Raskin's playing the 6, he can't be running all over the place. He's got to be the disciplined one. And the one in front of him's got to be the Paul Scholes, the Asgard who's doing. I'm not comparing them, obviously, as players, but you get my point that he's got that protection behind him.
Midfielders back then at different teams, Rangers had it, other teams had it. You had partnerships, you had rapport, you had guys who knew where other people were going to be in the park without even looking for them. They knew that he'll be there. Nowadays, you don't, make his team football's changed and there's so much alteration game to game and players to player, so it's very difficult. So, but we can go into that another time. But anyway, it's now 2 minutes past 1. 2 minutes past 1. 2 minutes past we're on the podcast.
It is my time.
It is Ricky's time. Ricky's up early. I'm up early for a protest. I need to paint the best suit. Get his spray painted. So anyway, Ricky, what's your score prediction for tomorrow?
You're the happy clapper this week.
Me, I'm going 2-1 Rangers.
Right, I'll go 1-0.
And I think my off-scale score first.
I'll go 1-0. Boyle OG.
Oh, I might have changed it. I think have your score first and we'll come back and win.
Aye, okay. I'm not copying, but I'll take a 1-0. I'll take the same goal Edu scored against them. Last minute, bang. I'll take that. When he scored for the corner, I'll take that kind of goal tomorrow to win it because that will just break them. Because Hibs will sit behind. Hibs will just sit behind and we won't press.
I think Hibs will try to attack. David Gray is a good manager. I mean, he went through a really hard time there last season. He was bottom of the league at points and he was getting sacked.
Same as Mark.
He overturned it, but it's less pressure at Hibs than it is at Rangers. And I'm not saying Hibs, no disrespect to them, but it's different type of level of management. But Hibs will come and try and hit. Hibs are good players forward. You mentioned Kieran Bowie. I mean, I watched a lot of Kieran Bowie. Was at Raith Rovers as a kid, and the boy was a fantastic player. And I'm happy to see him doing well because he lost his way at Fulham, went to Northampton, and Hibs have took a punt on him, and it's turned out a great gamble. Boyle always plays well against us. He's done it for as long as I can remember. Martin Boyle. He turns up against every game.
That's we missed it on. You mentioned Scottish players. That's an off player. We missed out Martin Boyle.
I think Martin Boyle would have joined us anyway.
I know, but it's an argument's sake that we should have.
I think he might have done a John Collins, but you never know. But anyway, enough of it. Right, Ricky, thanks for joining me tonight.
Sorry, internet troops, man.
Cheers, guys.
The night, it's worst it's ever been.
We'll be back, Ricky, Monday.
Yes.
Hopefully we're back Monday with Gary hosting because Gary's a better host than me because he talks for a living. I just said that. Gary loves talking away and he talks more sense than I do. But thanks to everybody who joined in tonight on the panel, who watched us and who sent their comments in. It's appreciated. So it is. So if you can like, subscribe, share it, wherever you are, and we'll see you all again on Monday. Night, everyone.
Cheers, guys.